Hey guys, welcome to another React clone build of mine. So today I'm going to be showing you my Airbnb build, and this was built using React, but on top of that Next.js, and it's been actually my first time using Next.js, and I have to say I love it. It was really fun to use, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot, using it a lot more now. And yeah, I'll explain why in just a second. And along with Next.js, I've been using Tailwind CSS. Now I've dabbled with that before, but yeah, it's I got to say I love it as well, and it's just made the whole process a lot easier. Yeah, basically all this styling you see, all the little animations, this is all done using Tailwind CSS, and if you haven't used it before, I highly recommend giving it a try because it's just so easy to use and like it just saves time and it's just very powerful. Like in terms of building out this UI, it doesn't take much time at all, and it's just insane just how simple and straightforward it is, and it's probably going to be my go-to from now on as well. So yeah, like if you guys want a tutorial on how to do this, I'd firstly highly recommend Sonny Sanger's tutorial. His build is what this is inspired off of, and I'll go ahead and link that in the tutorial in the description. And basically, I've just made my few little additions here and there as usual. But yeah, basically, this is the home page, and it's got a working search bar as well. So, for example, if I search London, you get the calendar and you get to pick the dates. So this is all integrated and works quite nicely, just like that. And you can pick number of guests, and yeah, it's all built in, and it was actually a very straightforward project. Did not take that long at all. Probably just a week of just an hour or so a night, and got it built out pretty quickly. So you can see when you hit search, it pulls up all these listings and a map as well. So basically, all these listings here, I actually pulled off Airbnb, so these are real listings. Unfortunately, Airbnb doesn't have an API, so what I went ahead and did was I just gathered all the JSON files for the first page of a few different Airbnb searches, and I pretty much put them on this website called JSON Keeper. If you haven't heard of it, jasonkeeper.com, it's really nice because it's basically an online store for your JSON, and then you can just call the JSON in your web app basically, and yeah, just use it straight away, and it's very handy. So I don't have to keep anything on the app, keeping it nice and light and agile. I just call the data as I require it, and yeah, as you can see, it loads up very nicely, and yeah, it's very clean. And you can see there's also a map on the right hand side, and that's using Mapbox. And basically, I went ahead and styled it a bit more similarly to Airbnb's one with the prices in here, and I've made it so that the map scrolls with the UI as well. So that's just to make it a really nice user experience. And yeah, just look at the animations on that, guys. Like, I don't know what to say, but like that did not take that much time at all. Like honestly, within a few keywords in Tailwind CSS, you can get your all your elements looking this professional. Like it's seriously crazy how much you can do with Tailwind CSS. So I'd highly recommend getting on it if you haven't already. Might put up a video on this exact build if you guys are interested because yeah, this is a really fun one and it honestly wasn't that difficult. This was pretty quick to do. And yeah, I've just added a few different locations, and as you can see in the placeholder, you've got the location I put in, the date range that I put in, and the number of guests. And that's all over here as well. Um, when I click on this I'm flexible button, I've got it so it like randomly selects a handful of locations that I've like stored onto JSON Keeper, and I call it. So if I hit I'm flexible, for example, get London that time. If I hit I'm flexible again, this time you get Paris. And as you can see, the map will dynamically update, as well as all these listings. They're all in Paris, right? They're all real Paris listings. And it didn't take much time to get all this data as well. I pretty much just ripped it all off Airbnb and yeah, just put on JSON Keeper. So as you can see, it's quite nice. When you click on a listing, it just gives the title of the listing. Could totally build that out a bit more, so it gives more information. Might build that out if you guys are interested, just to make it more likely to the real thing. And when you click on these listings, they don't actually open up just yet, but that's also something I could totally do, open it up within a new page. And speaking of, that's another reason why I love Next.js actually, because it has an inbuilt router. So you can see when I'm switching between these pages, that's Next.js doing it. I didn't have to install any like React Router DOM or anything like that. Next.js pretty much has its own router built in, so it makes it very easy and very clean to actually go ahead and change pages. So that's another thing I really liked about Next.js. And the last reason why Next.js was really something I enjoyed using and I would highly recommend is because when you go to deploy it, into production or onto your own website, you can use Versal.com. And basically, Versal is like Next.js's own deployment platform, basically. So you can see I've got an Airbnb clone here, and just recently I built an Amazon clone. Stay tuned for that video coming out soon. But yeah, it makes it really easy and integrated. And not only does it deploy your Next.js applications, but it links to your GitHub as well. So the second you push your build onto GitHub, Versal will go ahead and see that, and it will actually then build the latest web app from that GitHub repository. So it's so seamless, and it's just in terms of like dabbling into like CI/CD applications like developments, like this is like definitely the way to go. So it's really streamlined and it's really nice. So I'd highly recommend you guys checking it out. Let me just go ahead and just click on one more thing just so you guys can see. Now let's do Manchester. All right, and you can see how quickly that all loads up as well. And yeah, just so many listings. And notice those pictures load as I get on them. So that's known as like lazy loading, I believe it's called. So basically, it only renders the images as I need them, right? Which is why these pages snap up so quickly, is because it doesn't, waste any processing power or any memory loading up every single element of the page. It'll only load the parts that I need as I get to them, making the experience super quick, super lightweight, and yeah, it's just very efficient. But yeah, that's essentially the build for today, guys. So well, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, and I've just added little things here and there. So if like you put in like an invalid location, for example, and hit search, then I have this message saying, sorry, couldn't find any matches. And then it'll go ahead and suggest a random location for you. So in this case, it suggested Hove, right? So that was a nice little touch that I also added to it. And yeah, that's pretty much the idea, guys. So it was quite a fun, quick little build. Let me know what you guys think, and if you want a tutorial on how I did it, happy to do so. But yeah, check out Sonny Sanga's video if you haven't already. Highly recommend it, and it was quite a good one. It's a bit old now, like so some of the APIs and whatnot are a bit out of date and need to be updated. But honestly, guys, if you read the documentation, it's all there, and it's really not too bad. There's not too much going on besides what you can see here. So hopefully you guys can get integrated. I didn't do any sort of authentication this time because Airbnb, like, it doesn't really matter until you actually want to go and book the actual place. So, there wasn't really an essential part of this build. But keep an eye out for the Amazon build that's coming up. I just finished it earlier today, and that had a lot of moving parts. So including authentication, and I used Next.js and Tailwind in that too. And honestly, that was like such a good build. So that was, but I highly recommend if it's your first time using Next.js and Tailwind, start with a simple project like Airbnb, and yeah, go from there. All right, so I'll leave it there, guys, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. If you want to check out my live build, you can. It's at fakebnb.snathtech.com, and yeah, enjoy. Let me know if you guys have any questions or you want tutorials or any suggestions or bugs that you might see, and yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, take it easy, and yeah, have a great week, guys. See ya.